Okay, more Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I wanted to just stop the game where we left off last time because we have a really cool Vortigaunt bro who's been helping us out. And it seems like it's basically narratively certain that they're going to die. And I don't want that to happen because I really like the character. Also, the chapter's name is Vortal Coil. Ugh. Don't get shuffled loose, buddy. I like you. This guy is the best. What happened? I think I took falling damage from jumping.
No pulse. Stop. She ebbs. If we lose her, we lose all.
Save Alyx. Use the goop we got from the caves.
The extra miraculous secretion. Make haste. Join now as we imbibe the extract. Yes. A human is needed. Agreed. Join us, Freeman.
Sure. I'll eat some bug juice.
We weave the Freeman's life with hers. Yes, there is.
Oh, lucky her.
Almost mortal. This bond between you.
Almost mortal. Interesting visual effect.
Dr. Freeman.
Oh, shit.
I realize this moment may not be the most convenient for a heart-to-heart, but I had to wait until your friends were otherwise occupied. There was a time they cared nothing for Miss Vance, when their only experience of humanity was a crowbar coming at them down a steel corridor.
This is awesome and very creepy.
When I plucked her from Black Mesa, I acted in the face of objections that she was a mere child and of no practical use to anyone. I have learned to ignore such naysayers when quelling them was out of the question.
I love G-Man's delivery.
Still, I am not one to squander my investments, and I remain confident she was worth far more than the initial appraisal. That's why I must now extract from you some small repayment owed for your own survival. See her safely to White Forest, Dr. Freeman. I wish I could do more than keep an eye on you, but I have agreed to abide by certain restrictions.
I assume you can see the G-Man all throughout the game. You can see him a couple times in Half-Life 1.
Now, listen carefully, my dear. When you see your father, relay these words. Prepare for unforeseen consequences.
It feels like this is the full story of Half-Life 2 in Episode 1 and 2. Half-Life 2 just kind of ends.
Her vocal form has regained integrity. We have averted immeasurable loss.
Oh, God.
Lie still.
Oh, my God. I thought for sure I was dead.
You were.
Combine hunters cause traumatic injury.
A hunter. So that's what it was.
We knit shattered bone and restored circulatory integrity. Yet it was a Freeman who retrieved your vortessence.
That's me.
That's Gordon.
I communicate by jumping.
A matter of hours.
Hours? We've got to get moving.
A moment longer.
I haven't played Opposing Force or Blue Shift now.
We have to get to White Forest.
One's pretty minimal in story. It's pretty much
We will put you on the right road.
go through the facility, and then you're in alien world.
Whoa. I don't know what you did, but I have a feeling I'm lucky to be here.
Come then. I will get you on the path to White Forest.
Come on, Gordon.
We will continue our
Yay!
for advising.
Borderbro hasn't died yet.
Well, go safely. Travel well.
I also played the original Half-Life, not Black Mesa or any of the attempts at remaking it. Be adequate.
I don't know. Sounds like something the Forge would say.
I think I can walk on my own now. Let me give it a shot. Yeah. Stiff, but I think I'm okay.
Jump means cool. Let's go. Whoa! Hello, friend.
Whoa! That was a guardian. Somebody must have done something to piss it off.
Might have been me.
Guardian is enraged over our theft of the extract. If it tries to hinder our progress, we will have no choice but to kill it.
That's
You messed with its eggs? No wonder it's mad.
Alyx is informed about this. Hi, Ben. Do you like the sounds of Half-Life 2? I feel like you've showed up for multiple episodes of this game. You hear it coming from the headphones? Guest headphones? Freeman Pontifex. Whoa. Cool walk through a portal vista.
Yes, and they carry shooting still They gather and unite the scattered Combine forces.
So that's what we saw in the Citadel. They're sure in a hurry.
They move north with great purpose.
North? White Forest! We have to get there ahead of them.
I know of humans with a vehicle not far from here. They will understand our urgent need.
What are we waiting for?
They were putting out these episodes pretty fast after Half-Life 2. I wonder why they just stopped with episode 3. Something else came up? It's all in the same engine, right? Hey, sir, how you doing? Constant footsteps is pretty cool. I can understand them taking forever to put out Half-Life 3, but it being, like, downloadable sequels in the same engine is surprising that they didn't just, like, wrap it up. Try turning the in-game sound down a bit.
Antlions. Now I know I'm not in heaven. Let's keep moving.
Take shelter near the repellent device.
Don't accidentally blow up that bottle, right? Where are they coming out of? They're like over here somewhere, maybe? I thought it was back over this way somewhere. I can actually see them spawn, that would be helpful. Oh, okay.
The humans have their enclave on the rim of this. I do not see them.
I think we're just moving between the pounders.
Gordon, go on. I'll follow when I can.
Okay. Well, to figure out where they wanted to take the story. At some point, it's not making sense thinking about it as episode 3 because it had been too long. I see what you're saying. Okay.
They're all over.
I think Steve Bucks was easier. It's mad! Oh, it's a boss fight now. Okay. I like the way they foreshadowed that and reminded us of this thing. Poor Guardian. Ouch. Come here. This way. Yeah, I kind of hear where Valve's coming from now, that, like, the expectations are so high they could never meet them, so they shouldn't bother. Twofer achievement unlocked. Yeah. Which is a bummer. Basically, it's like, it seems like the problem is just that they missed the window.
Nice work, Gordon. Sorry I couldn't be more help.
Once I finish this, I'll probably read the Half-Life 3 plot summary that they put out. The leak.
Well done, Freeman. You dispatched those guards with great dispatch.
I love the Vortigaunts.
The vehicle we seek is in the encampment above. This lift will carry us to where the vehicle awaits.
You gonna zap it? Progression blocking, make sure the Vortigaunts with you. Generator doors.
Looks like the elevator's stuck up there.
It makes me wonder what sort of, like, material we would get if, you know, most of the audience for these games were reasonable. And I think it gets harder once you have a critically acclaimed AAA series to really get weird with it. Indie devs can be weird and stay weird because they have a smaller audience, and they can be like, well, if you don't like it, tough shit. Valve is a big deal. That was cool. I love little things like that. More reason to use the physics engine.
Thanks, Gordon.
Puzzling. The sentries should have spotted us by now.
You think the Combine found them?
Such a theory is hardly far-fetched. Lead us.
Yeah, you'd hope so. It's like, we're just gonna get weird with it. If you don't like it, too bad, right? It's not like Activision or Ubisoft where it's like, no, we need to be putting out safe sequels on a schedule. I think a big part of it is just we're seeing for the first time that, like, these companies that we associate with these works, they're ship of Theseusing. Like, the people that comprised Blizzard in the 90s are not the people that comprise Blizzard today. And it's interesting because, like, you know, you have one author who writes books their whole life, and then the author dies. You have one film director or writer who makes movies their whole life, and then they die. But, like, video games are such a product of many, many minds collaborating together in a lot of cases that it's easy to be like, I like BioWare games. It's like, yeah, but does BioWare still exist? Do you like BioWare games, or did you like Drew Karpyshyn or Casey Hudson or whoever?
The Combine found them all right.
But came to no good end themselves. Head crabs have had their way with both parties.
Hey, look! Out on that bridge. I think I see the car you were talking about.
Oh, and there's G-Man, I think. Cool.
It appears they attempted an escape, but made it no farther than the abyss.
Well, if they got it over there, maybe we can jump it back to this side.
We recommend the Freeman for this task.
Hey, I'm feeling a lot better.
That condition will not last long if you plunge into the toxins below. We would do well to lend our protection from above.
Yeah, we only have a few auteur developers, cult of personality developers.
This mounted gun may prove useful. The gun would appear to be powerless. Go, Freeman. I will look after the Alyx vans.
Thank you.
Well, Gordon, I guess it's all up to you.
I'm gonna try.
Here, I'll get this field down.
Thanks. Yeah, props to Steam and Blizzard for historically not releasing products that they don't feel are up to their standards.
Careful now.
That's why we don't have Titan from Blizzard. That's why we don't have the Dark Souls-like Diablo 4. Oh my god. God, I wish that hadn't been canceled. Like, that is exactly what Blizzard used to do, right? They would identify something that's basically a new genre that's being developed, and then they would make a super streamlined version of it. I would have loved to have seen old Blizzard's take on Soulsborne games. And Diablo is like the best possible setting for it. It's already practically a Soulsborne setting. But I guess they couldn't make it work. Their original idea for Titan was pretty cool too. Like, I feel like the lore of Overwatch is way too cool for it to be a PvP shooter. Because the whole, like, secret identity idea that they had for Titan just didn't really work. Yeah, people don't have visibility in games. What is that creepy noise? People don't have visibility, and it's also hard to tell. Like, sometimes you'll play a game, and it will feel super different from the game that came out before it, and at the end of the day, the reason is that it had a different director or a different writer, just like a movie. But we don't, like, make a point of focusing on that or really mentioning it a lot of the times. It's like, this is a BioWare game, not this is a Drew Karpyshyn game. This is set up so well with, like, the chair blocking this door, the sound we keep hearing when we get closer to it. Oh god! Even though I knew it was there, that was perfect. I love that attack that reduces me to 1 hit point. That was a cool sequence. I really like the level design in episode 1 and 2. I feel like Valve was kind of finding their footing with the base Half-Life 2 campaign, and then they were all the way there with episode 1 and 2. I think auteurs are a double-edged sword. Like, Hideo Kojima ended up having a George Lucas problem where he just started to be given too much power, too much creative freedom, didn't have enough, like, moderating voices to edit him. You get a lot of indie games that are made entirely by one person, so there's a unified voice, but not always for the best. You need better auteurs, yeah. Thank you. Only a few games really focus on who the director is. I get it, like, they're a product of a lot of people. I think that there's two sides to that argument. I think auteur theory can be dangerous sometimes because we can get into a mode of thinking that, you know, these games are really just the product of one person, when really they often are made by a committee or need to be made by a committee to be any good. But there's a balance there, like, in film, I think films are generally better when there's one, like, project or program manager directing the whole thing, making sure everything's consistent to one vision. They're less good when they're literally by committee. It's actually kind of interesting that, like, I feel like Japanese devs generally have a lot more personal cred than Western devs, even though Japan is such a more, like, collectivist society, and the West is a lot more individualistic. Oh, this is Sakaguchi, Toriyama, and come on. This doesn't end well for me. I can forgive pretension as long as there's passion. I feel that way about Jonathan Blow. I think Jonathan Blow is super pretentious, and I often roll my eyes at his games, but he's a genius, and his games are great. He clearly has a passion for them. I have that relationship with a lot of creators outside of video games. Like, I'm most often rolling my eyes at Quentin Tarantino. I hate that these guys make that scary, like, TIE fighter noise when they spawn. I guess it makes sure you know that they're there, right? Final Fantasy 14, I think it's good for auteur theory. Although, like, Yoshi P at the end of the day is like a god project manager more than anything. He just makes sure shit gets done. He's like the antithesis of Tetsuya Nomura. Thank you, Alyx. I like how she's still helping me even though she's, like, disabled at the moment. I forget what the TIE Fighter noise is. It might be like dragging something across a bass guitar and then speeding it up. Old school Foley art, super cool. We saw a pretty cool talk with a sound effects Foley artist at PAX. We went with Jaden. Talking about all the sound effects he can make by just recording himself, like slamming his oven door shut and then fucking with it in Audacity. Well, they're already dead. I really like these games that are like horror adjacent. Like, I don't think anyone would call Half-Life a horror game, but it definitely has horrific elements. It might be one of my favorite genres, so if it's a genre. Themes, I guess? Dark Souls is also horror adjacent. Okay. I understand the conveyance this time. Cars on wet pavement mixed with elephants. Nice. Yeah, like CD Projekt Red, there's not like a cult of personality auteur dev or writer associated with CDPR, right? Just a bunch of really competent people. Which is great. Like, I think that's part of what made Blizzard and old school BioWare so amazing, was that it was a team of people. It wasn't just one person. But, like, those teams no longer exist. There's an entity called BioWare, but it is not the BioWare you remember. Alright, let me see if I can give her a clear shot. That's clever. Very cool. I love these little sequences in this game. They're so good at it. It must have been fun, like, planning out these stages. This is a game that I might want to go back through later and, like, play with the dev commentary on, because that's, like, very much my jam. There's names behind CDPR, but no one can pronounce them. Thank you, Alyx. Just let you take care of this. One sec. Remind myself that the quick save key is F5. Yeah, that's pretty satisfying. I'm so bummed that I played Ravenholm wrong. Ravenloft? Where did my saw blade go? There it is. Okay, it decays eventually. Gotcha. This is a cool little level. Oh, I fuck it up so bad. I'm very bummed about it. Part of it is definitely my failing, but I do wish that the game did more to make it impossible for you to misunderstand what you were supposed to do there. You can't jump or crouch. I think they should take away your guns too. Like they do that in episode 1 and 2. There's a couple sequences where like we want you to get through this using the gravity gun. So like you have no resources other than the gravity gun, right? But it's very possible to limp your way to the finish line in Ravenholm. Do they actually do that thing in Ravenholm, though? Like, I don't remember well enough. Is there a point where you can't get past saw blades and need to use the gravity gun to move them? I guess they could do a thing where, like, you have to use one to, like, slice something open. And there's, like, coincidentally an enemy walks out while you're doing it and you just see them get insta-destroyed and you're like, oh, that's cool. I think they probably could have made this entire game without traditional guns, like all gravity gun. And still had it be compelling. They probably would have had to like populate the levels with way more junk, but I feel like it could have been doable. Gross. Cool set piece though. These are set up super well. Like, clearly they are for that purpose, right? I jumped or crouched to get around it. I know that there's some stuff, like I think I played Portal 1 with the dev commentary on. There's some stuff they've added from watching people play the game. They would get like UX testers, not like career testers, just people that just play this and we'll watch you. The game is near release status now. So they'd be really close to release, they'd do some UX, and people would just attempt really stupid things and be like, wow, we should remove that from the level, so that they don't try to do that. I feel like it was especially bad because I already knew a little bit about Ravenholm just from cultural osmosis. Like, it's a thing people talk about in Half-Life. I knew it was like a horror sequence. Up, up, up. Is there like a weird source engine thing where you can like crouch after jumping? I think so. That makes it so that you like climb up or something like that. Alright, I'm definitely doing this the stupid way. Hold on. Oh yeah, would non-source games do that? Oh, I hit my head. That sucks. Well, let's try just sitting in on this thing, I guess. Crouch jumping is a dumb video game. That and like double jumping, right? Hey, Kai Mom, how you doing? Wait. Oh. Well, that changes the calculus a little bit. That's what they wanted me to do. Got it. Makes it quite a bit easier. Come on, I need you to, like, rotate. I need you to be a tall barrel again. I need you to rotate around and be a tall barrel again. There you go. Maybe. Come on. I feel like that's not going to be good enough. I'll try jumping just from this. No, it's going to have to be tall. Let me try dropping it and pulling it back up. Almost. There it is. Alright, don't fuck it up now. Now's your chance. Hooray! First try. On the verge of having an existential crisis with a double jump. I'll click on Scarf's link here in my other machine. Nice, Scarf. This is a really cool level. Continuing to praise the Episode 1 and Episode 2 level design, but it's very, very good. It's the closest I was to getting stuck, and I think I probably could have cheesed my way through it.
I got your back, Gordon.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Geiger counter. That's not good. Everything's fine. Also seems bad. Oh, it's just standard ammo. Like fizzy wine. Not a big alcohol person, but fizzy wine is good. Ship. They do a lot with like traditional like Mario style coinveyance in episode 1 and 2. Like a lot of the times they'll have like ammo boxes and pickups as a way to tell you you should go this way. While still giving you that feel of like I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, right? I'm breaking the level. Whoops. That's cool. Thank you, Alyx. Appreciate that. Good enough. Nice, Kevin. I think I needed to. They wanted me to reuse the wooden thing from before to get through there. But it was also okay to just eat some damage along the way. Hi, Ben. I know I shampooed today. That's a sound. Freaking me out. That was the sound of me moving those around.
Marty, that's Ben.
Hi.
No, Cammy, that's Ben.
Hi. You.
Close enough.
She's cute with the cats now. She's like, aw, it's Ben. He's so little. That seems bad. Really? I like that they remove the side so you can see better, right? That's cool. Not what we were supposed to do, it turns out. What was the checkpoint? Because I haven't been quick saving. Hey, thanks, game. He is quite little. That is not what I meant to use the handbar brake for. Okay, I'm not supposed to drive over the edge with it. Where am I meant to take it? Don't think it can fit through these little areas here. Can't do anything with these guys. If I go over the ledge, I die. Can't get further onto the bridge because the bridge is all fucked up. I'm gonna die again, but I'm curious what's gonna happen. I don't think I'm just supposed to use it as a way to get places. Jump with the car. Does it have hydraulics? Well, the bridge is falling apart. There's a bunch of space for me to take it like straight down there, but I think I've been through most of this area already. Maybe get rid of these cars, get them out of the way. I don't know if this is gonna help, but definitely can't move the truck. I think the truck exists to let me get up on this part up here. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to make that. Whoops.
Major fracture detected.
I guess I'll try just taking the car down a little bit, maybe? It's a ladder to climb up the rail. Oh, I see. So I could use the rail to get from here to here. I'm trying to figure out what that ladder was for earlier. Thank you. Am I supposed to drive the car out of here right now? Does anyone in chat know? Don't think they would make this unwinnable through stupidity of moving the cars around. Oh, it was a physics puzzle. That's cool. Okay. That's a pretty awesome, like, we've already done the seesaw puzzle before. Doing it with a giant bridge is kind of rad. Here I'm just knocking cars around. That was difficult to convey, I feel like. I don't think the player would expect that the car weights were actually affecting the movement of that thing the whole time, you know? I don't know if you could really get that across without having Alyx tell you something. Say show don't tell, but like sometimes telling's actually pretty effective. Whoa! Mm-hmm. I don't think it was. I think it was just a script. There were scripted events. Like I don't think that the thing had. I think it has like 3 states, right? It has the default state when you're in the middle of it and the edge of the bridge falls off, and then after you remove all of the cars, then it moves to state 3. I guess if the whole bridge moved a little bit whenever the weight changed slightly, that would give it away, but they definitely tried to do stuff to broadcast to you that that's what was going on. But it, like when I walked across the bridge, I was like, oh, when I walk across the bridge, it's scripted to have the railing fall off. I'm here. Thanks. You didn't see the 2 lives when I drove to my death.
Oh my god. Look at this car.
Look at this car?
Mm-hmm.
We scored. Shotgun.
Yeah, classic extortion. The way Ladders is handled is super janky.
A more urgent errand demands our attention. There are advisors yet unhatched.
We'll keep on the lookout.
This road will take you near White Forest, but be wary that others may use it as well.
I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Our bonds are of nature and require no gratitude.
Gonna hug him? Aw. Shake his little weird chest hand. Yay, Vortigaunt plot gate.
Stay safe.
Likewise, and farewell. It has been an honor.
Nice. Vortibro might live. I'm pleasantly shocked. I really, really like him.
Should have known it wouldn't be as easy as just driving down the road.
Let me find out what's going on with my phone here. Try to mute it. I can't just go vibration because the headphones make it hard for me to know, even if it's in my pocket. Try setting it like so that the screen lights up in my battle station. I'll put it next to the baby monitor.
I'll stay with the car.
I love that stock engine idling sound. Up there with the vase shattering, creaky locker door opening. I'm coming.
A radio tower. If it's working, we need to send a warning to White Forest.
Good job with the tower.
No idea the Combine's heading their way.
I really like the aesthetic of episode 2 in particular. Like, episode 1 was a cool game, but other than Ravenholm, I feel like it didn't have a lot of like variance in the setting, the look of the places you were visiting.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nobody's home. Wonder how long it's been deserted. They must have a transmitter in one of these buildings.
Investigate the buildings first, not the tower. Probably need to like climb up on something to get in there. Helps me see in there a little bit better. It doesn't actually get me in there though. It's interesting. Here we go.
I'll keep a lookout while you poke around inside.
Okey doke. Healing and stuff in here. Alright, we got one of these things. Huh. It's interesting. Very interesting. I see. Clever. Very cool. You get a longer cable though, right? Chill out. That makes the lift work. This is a fun sequence.
Coordinate, hide. Hunters. They're out there.
Hunters are the thing that fucked with her earlier.
The door. Here it comes.
Music.
They're not gonna catch me off guard. Not this time.
Cool. Nice build up. Did a plane fly overhead recently? Just...
Gordon, we can take these. There's another one. We can do this.
Cool.
That's all of them.
That was neat. Look at them building up with them being like, seeming like an impossible foe after they take out Alyx. He has to load the whole shotgun, not like Resident Evil 4 where you just put in 2 and the game's like, that's enough. Meet the hunters.
Wow. We should get our warning out and then keep moving. That was probably a scouting party. Let's go find out what we just powered up. I sure hope it was a transmitter.
Presumably the wires connect somewhere from here. Let's see. Yeah, actually. Brilliant. Good way to make sure you do that building first.
Here it is.
Nice.
The signal's really weak. Well, let's give it a try. White Forest, come in. White Forest, do you read? White Forest, do you read?
This is White Forest. Identify yourself.
This is
Alyx? Alyx Vance? Where are you? I expected you hours ago.
Well, we had a bit of a setback.
Don't you understand the gravity of the situation? The survival of Earth depends on the data you carry.
Yes, I know. But the Combine, they're heading your way.
What? What's that? What? You're heading our way? Well, I should hope so.
No, not
what?
us.
What was that?
Combine.
You're
have to
breaking
get
up,
ready.
Alyx. What? What?
Crap. I wonder if we got any of that. Let's get back on the road. Here, let me open the gate.
Alright, let's go. Go get my car back. It's such a cool set piece.
Let's keep going. See if we can pick up the road somewhere ahead.
Appreciate them paying attention and yelling at me. It's a good way to make sure you stop there too, right? Like there's other tells that don't try to keep driving or make your way out. It's just kind of natural to want to do it anyway. Elaborate cell phone service ad. Picture like a Verizon coverage map it with the lambda symbol. Whoa.
Hey, I know that peak. You can see it from White Forest.
That's cool.
We're heading the right way.
I wonder if this game lets you get away with like exploring here without taking the car, or if Alyx yells at you to remind you.
It's one of those advisor pods. Back in the Citadel, those things we saw.
Interesting. I'm sure everything's fine in this farmhouse area. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Give me a bunch of grenades. Oh, that was cool.
What was that?
It's creepy, whatever it was.
There it is again.
I really like how Half-Life 1 is like a bottle game. Like it almost entirely takes place in the one facility. You're all over the place in this one.
There's an advisor around here someplace.
Well, that's creepy.
We weren't the first to find this place.
Again, they're using power-ups as a way to draw your attention to things like that. We said horror adjacent. This is actually pretty just horror. Whoa.
I think we found our advisor.
Creepy.
The board said we should kill them before they hatch. Ah, life support. What do you say, Gordon? Shall we pull the plug? Sorry about this.
This isn't gonna end well.
Maybe I can get this open. There we go. Over to you, Gordon. Whoa!
Grabbed her face somehow, though.
Oh my god!
Gross. Gross. Whoa, super gross. That's a really cool set piece, though. This is wondering if that's what G-Man is. Can like make him talk like a puppet now, I wonder? No, we just saw that fucks people up. Nice. I love that it's a gross, like, maggot thing. It's perfect for a psychic creature, right? Doesn't have to have legs.
Gordon. Thank God you're all right. That thing was hurt. Did you see it? I can only imagine what it would have done if... Uh-oh.
Autonomous units assumed.
Sounds like it called its friends.
Soldiers. Threat level adjustment. Probe. Expunge.
Nice way to handle that door there. Good timing for music, too. Hey, it's the bow.
We gotta get out of here. Let's get to the car.
This is a really cool sequence. Episode 2 in particular is like my favorite thing I've ever seen from what I've played of Half-Life. The base game was pretty cool and had some neat sequences. Episode 1 was cool and had some neat sequences, but like all of episode 2 is awesome. They really had honed their craft. Yeah, the pacing is great. Exactly. Makes me extra sad that they didn't finish it. Yay! I wonder if they moved the car to make sure it's facing a way that makes sense there. You blew up. We can just drive through this. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if the car got moved, but I think it did. So you didn't accidentally drive the wrong way. But I also think the crashed ship outside was partially there to make sure that you didn't go the wrong way by accident. Is this the same helicopter boss from the base campaign? I think it is. Use piles of boxes to crash through to draw your attention there as well. Left the car well outside the farmhouse. Nice. It got moved and they knew which way you should be facing. I think that was correct. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that is not a ramp. It is a wall. However, is a ramp. Let the camera angle change to make it easier to see the helicopter there. I also like the way damage is handled in this sequence.
We may have to ditch the car.
Thanks for being clear about that.
This way. Since you brought that chopper in on your tail, you want to maybe help us take it down?
Oh, with pleasure.
Sure.
Take it down!
That could have gone really badly. I'm glad it did not.
I found a first aid cache.
Oh, cool. Actually, gonna leave that alone for now. I'm doing okay on health. Could use some armor, though. Resist.
Gotta reload.
I'm wondering if I can throw the mines back at it. Probably. I'm gonna aim it better. Like, be directly under it while it's not moving. There we go. At least the damage taken in this sequence is pretty reasonable for the most part. I think once I get it, maybe it doesn't blow up until it touches something, so I have time to aim it. Nice. That's delightful. That's a hell of an attack. I think once I have it, it doesn't blow up anymore. Look out! Another guy flying out of it, that was great. I'll have to watch a compilation of all the times that G-Man shows up. We saw him once in this episode so far.
Whoa. That was amazing. The way you threw their minds right back at them. Well, I could sure use a drink.
Don't get shot after you say that.
We need to get back on the road, but our engine's shot to hell. I don't suppose you got any tools for working on cars.
Tools? Got a whole shop over here. Come on, we'll get you set up.
You weren't kidding. We'll be back on the road in no time.
Well, that could be a problem. You hear that auto gun going off out there?
I do.
Normally run supplies out of the White Forest base, but a few days ago the Combine cut off access.
What do you think, Gordon? Maybe while I'm getting the car fixed up, you can see about clearing up that roadblock.
Sure.
All the fresh zombies coming out of City 17 have kept them pinned down. It's just a matter of time till the troops start pushing this way. If you think you're up to it, we'll let you out there.
Sure.
He's always up for it.
Thank you,
Right,
Proxy.
I
Yes.
got a trap door up here where I can let you over to the other side. That way you'll get to see the gun before it sees you.
That sounds cool. I do really like the whole, like, Gordon gets warped to the future. No idea what's happening. Everyone keeps talking like he does. Living in this, like, post-apocalyptic society for a minute now. Inappropriate, weird question, dude. It's a little bit too close to that. Ow. So I think that, like, this episode, I'll have to go back through and watch through, like, the VOD for base game episode 1. But But I think that episode 1 and episode 2 do a really good job of like having some kind of twist in each section. Like it's never just, okay, I'm in another building shooting Combine and shooting headcrab dudes, right? Like, oh, now I have the Vortibro with me, or now I have Alyx with me, but she's only able to snipe because she's disabled, or now I'm driving. I've played a lot of first-person shooters that just feel like you're just going through the motions of doing the same degenerate group of, like, 10 or 11 enemies over and over. Stages don't feel distinct from each other. I still love RPGs, but I've played a shitload of RPGs where it's like, once you've done one random battle, you've done almost all the random battles, right? Very little room to change things up. You can get away with, like, mashing attack most of the time. Whoa! That was not a friendly blue laser. Got it. That's something that I feel that games like Persona actually do well by having encounters that you have to solve. Where it's like, okay, well, this fight has an enemy that kills me on turn 2, and everyone is, like, 3 of them are weak against fire, but 1 is weak against wind. The problem in those games is, like, the fun part is solving it. Once you've solved it, and just, like, deploying that solution 50 more times is less interesting, right? Then your game is very short. I do feel that a lot of games fall into that trap, though, where you basically have a puzzle. It would be like if the game gave you a, like, the die-hard, jugs puzzle with the 5-gallon and the 3-gallon jug. It showed that to you once, you're like, okay, cool, I solved it, and then it's like, okay, now solve it like 50 more times. Well, I know what to do, you just want me to, like, complete the steps now, right? Die every 20 or so times anyway, because fuck you. Her Nocturne's pretty good, though, as a whole, isn't it? Shit. This is bad. This is bad. That was bad. Not the best plan. Try that again. It can be legitimately unfair. Oh, I didn't quite knock it over enough. There we go. Perfect. Still didn't knock it over enough. Jeez. Get out of here. I believe the correct term for what I just did to that thing was I yeeted it. Oh god. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's great. Are you still there? I played Portal way before I played far enough into Half-Life 2 to know about the turrets, so I did not know that they, like, had already established them as an entity. Doo-doo-doo. Again, pickups to kind of draw me into that car, right? Or the best the series has been mechanically. Yeah, the whole concept though of turrets that like when knocked over slightly become completely useless. I think that's pretty core to them working in portal puzzles, right? So often what you have to do with them is like make them fall through a portal or have something come out of a portal to slightly fuck with their balance. Hello. What up? Those guys are definitely the worst. Not just yet. There was a trailer for SMT5 already. Try to get in from the back. He was trying. Wonder if that was the turret that I yeeted earlier. Again, boxes to draw my attention.
Blood toxin levels detected.
Grenades. Alright, I see. I really like their radio chatter too, as a way to tell you that you're in danger. To lower the bottom part of it too, it looks like. Hey, Brewski, thank you. I'm not sure about cooking grenades, actually. How have you been?
You're super awesome. Thanks, appreciate that.
Oh, really? That's a big deal. How's that been treating you so far? Oh, I think I get it. That's why they keep giving me these. That was it. Very cool sequence. Thank you, Alyx.
The car's ready. Come on back and we'll get going.
You still doing stay-at-home dad stuff, or do you got a preschool caretaker now? Sorry for shooting at you, buddy.
Come on, Gordon, get in.
Let's do it.
Not only did they help me fix the car, they threw in a bonus.
Ooh, little radar thing.
It's like an onboard radar for you guys.
That's cool.
Beacon jobbers like this one here.
Oh, it's got like a coat hanger on it.
In the field to signal emergency stashes. So keep an eye out.
When you see your dashboard light up, you're gonna want to stop and investigate.
I'll fill you in on the road, Gordon. Thanks again, you guys.
No need to thank you.
Cool. I didn't realize I could drive through the poison swamp. I guess that's how they blocked me from going this way before.
Something on the radar. Stop the car, Gordon. According to the radar.
Supply cache, eh? Good way to explain the supply cache system. Yeah, episode 2 is really, really good. I was saying earlier that this is the best I've ever seen Half-Life. Which makes sense that they would get better as they were making more of it, but we really nailed this shit.
It must be this van.
Oh, clever. Yeah, there's a receiver thing. Cool. Thank you, Alyx.
We're picking up something on the radar.
Thank you. In one of the cars, maybe? In the van. Oh, that's a hell of a cache. Awesome. Is there like a wire I can trace here? Grenades. Don't think that's how I meant to get up there. There's a rocket launcher in there too. Definitely want to get up there if we can. Let's see if there's another way in here. It is a lift, but it doesn't appear to be connected to any buttons. We'll try to get in.
I bet that stuff wasn't worth the trouble. Let's go.
No, it was worth the trouble. I don't think I can actually get through those windows. No. It is solvable from inside the building? Okay. Well, it's not a lift as much as it is a bridge. It's like a thing I can set underneath it so that it makes a smooth ramp for me to climb. Can't move these lights. Can't move the car further in. Can't pull anything out from in there. I've got hide underneath the panel until it's all over. Ouch. I can't like set something here. It looks like it just falls right through it. So it's got to be something bigger than the paint bucket. Yeah. There's not any larger things that I could bring in here to catch on this guy. That's what I'm wondering, but Mindforfish said that everything we need is inside. Hey, Heaton, how you doing? Okay, that worked a little bit better. Oh, use the tools provided in the building. That helps. Thanks. Clever. Ah, that's pretty cool. Very nice.
Rocket launcher. That'll come in handy.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't think about using the grenade launcher, or using grenades for that purpose. It's pretty genius. I thought it was going to be another, like, seesaw puzzle. The big clue is that they stock you with infinite grenades in the room, which don't appear to have any purpose.
What do you think, Gordon?
Might be in one of these shipping containers? Why would they let me climb on this roof? I think I can jump anywhere from up here. Bunch of barrels that I can pick up and move around. The implications that the cache is in this building or near it. Tricksy hobbitses.
We've got to get to White Forest.
Working on it. Alright, crouch, jump. Perfect sense. I think they leave a lot of that stuff unexplained, like, deliberately. Was it worth it? Nope. It's got to involve being able to climb on the roof of that building there, but why would they let you do that? It doesn't matter. Oh, clever. That's pretty cool. Whoa. Because I should trust the beacon better. Like, it's not like, oh, it's near here. It's like, no, it's literally there. Very cool.
I think the zombies want their
God. TIE fighter zombie. Good job, Alyx. because we warp at the end of... Like, Black Mesa is supposed to basically be Sandia or Los Alamos National Laboratory, right? It's like basically in New Mexico. There's a ton of places in this area that are named Black Mesa. Black Mesa Coffee, Black Mesa Casino. And then at the end of the game, you end up on that train thing with the G-Man. After going, was it Zen is the name of it? Should find out where I'm taking the car before I do anything here. I think we're going that way. I don't think that's turning around. They just say shipping on them. Do we know conclusively how many years have passed between Half-Life 1 and 2? You know it can't be that many because we run into characters that we met in the first game. And they're not like way older. Danger does work for Black Mesa, absolutely. There's a while there where my spiel introducing her was to say she works at the lab that's inspired Black Mesa and Half-Life. I guess it's a mix of Los Alamos and Sandia, which is in Albuquerque. I don't think the other characters are that much older.
Do you mind if I wait in the...
It's fine. Oh, that's why. It gets further up this hill. I forget, was there ocean? I didn't think you got very far outside of the facility in the first Half-Life. Not that they would have rendered much of it anyway. I just instinctively pressed the M button to pull up a map that does not exist. Alright, it's okay. I got a rocket launcher and a ton of ammo. But we wake up somewhere totally different. We were nowhere near Black Mesa spatially after waking up from being in stasis. Like, almost certainly in Eastern Europe. Definitely not anywhere near the start of the first game.
Combine handiwork. Hard to be sure. There's so many ways to die out here.
Yeah. Exploding barrels makes me a little nervous. It's like this game's version of chest-high walls. Just wait for me to die here. I really like that mountain in the skybox. Hide behind explosive barrels as cover. It seems like a good idea. Sound. I like that they use cars in the road to kind of get you to stop and look around. This one's in Ukraine. Okay. Half-Life 2 is definitely not in New Mexico. But I think the first game is. And I haven't played it in a super long time, so I don't know for sure. How do I get into this building? First one's in Kansas.
Seems deserted.
It's not, though. Icky enemy noises. Thank you.
Oh, this place must have been nice once. I wonder how long it's been since anyone stayed here.
Yeah, that sounds more like Sandia. That makes sense. One day we'll get a video game that's like literally set in Los Alamos. There's that talk about making a spin-off game where you play as the boss from Metal Gear on her mission to assassinate that scientist in Los Alamos. I'm like really interested to see if they were to make that, if they would do any location research at all. Whoa, that's bad. That's cool. I like how they set up the whole building. Nice. Pretty cool. I love all of the sequences in this game. Awesome. Yeah. I really like that you barely get music in this game until you suddenly do. This is one of the first games I can think of that did that. Like, it's very common now. That's like the Dark Souls approach to music as well. This is such a cool sequence. I'm super into it. Thanks. Like lure them into the basement or something. We see so little of the actual world in this game. It's all just implied by other characters, which I really like. Don't run like that. That's not cool. Anti-citizen one.
Talking about us. They're still after the data packet.
This guy's a dude. I like that for post-apocalyptic. Uncertainty is a lot of fun. Mad Max handles uncertainty about the world really well. Nice. Oh, there's one in the basement.
Let's get out of here.
I thought there was. Got him.
Let's get moving before they send more.
Is there a reason the Combine can't drop a nuke in Freeman's general vicinity, rather? I think they want him alive for some reason. His suit is nuke-proof. It's a way to trap the car. Okay. It's made of refrigerators. God.
More of them coming.
Are really good about drops here. And this is why we had all of these exploding barrels back here. Yeah, I'm curious, once we finish this game, like, how much certainty exists around the G-Man. I feel like Half-Life is, by design, not a story that's meant to introduce much certainty in the minds of players. They don't want you to know for sure what's going on. I think it's a big part of the fun. If we go through this tunnel and it gives me my car back, that tells me there was supposed to be a way for me to get my car out. Don't want to know. There's always still a chance. Yeah, that's what I really like about A Mine for Fish. It's not like it is in a lot of movies where there's just characters that are constantly like trying to bring you up to speed. Hey, give me the car. Thanks, game. You are fast, Alyx. Yeah. Like, you kind of know the basics. We don't need to have a big, long exposition sequence getting you up to speed. So is it actually letting me backtrack now? I felt like I was going the right direction for a second there because I ran into new enemies and I thought the game generally like unloads stuff. So we're just going back to our original base, huh? Hit and run. I don't think we were supposed to go back here. I'm actually really surprised that this area wasn't just unloaded entirely. Let me try going back to the house that we got stuck in. Maybe it lets you come back and get some of the caches if you left them behind.
Something on the radar.
Yeah, I couldn't quite find it before. The fact that enemies respawn behind me, though, where those exploding barrels were, tells me that it's kind of where they want me to go, maybe? There's not really anywhere to go from here, though, I don't think. Ow. Sorry. Maybe it's like we have to turn off the gate here. That's what we were supposed to do. Oh, that's probably why you have to go back to this building and why there's a bunch of guys there. Okay, this makes sense now. White Forest Inn. Follow wires. I think it was that big thing we saw forever ago. Yeah, this looks like progress. Dang it, Bobby. I got it.
There's the power source for the shields. Huh. They haven't skimped on security either. Let me see if I can disable the shields and get you closer to the reactor. Okay, it looks like I can open them from here, but I won't be able to come in with you. Here goes. Sorry, Gordon. This thing's fried.
Interesting.
I can't help you in there. Why don't I stand watch outside while you disable the power cell? We've had enough surprises for one day.
That wasn't enough. Can I make a thing to jump over this? Probably. Oh, some stuff up here. That makes more sense. I think they've got like a mouse squeak noise up here to get your attention. Sneaky, sneaky. And by mouse squeaking, I mean gross blackhead crab. But it does draw your attention up top. Very cool. Oh. We'll see. Well, that's rude. I think the door would shut in front of me. That's okay. Okay, so I can hold the door open temporarily. I thought you just shot this thing and that's how you destroyed it. Okay, it has to bounce for a certain amount of time. Got it.
That should have done it. Let's go see if the force field's down.
Should be.
Let's hope there's no more combine between here and White Forest.
Got about 2 minutes left. I'm gonna see if I can get to a checkpoint here. Not, I'll just quick save. You want me to abandon the car here? I didn't think so. That's why we got this cool off-road car with no side doors. So as a first-person shooter, I can see out them.
There goes the radar. I'm gonna rest here.
Whoa. Up? You're kidding. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Did it give me my rock back? I think it did. Fell somewhere near here. That did not work the way I thought it would. Huh. I think that is working. Yeah, I think it definitely counts as an awesome game, I would agree. Cool. Future Marstead, there's a cache here you can try to get down. It might be that you just have to climb up there through other means to be able to reach it. I thought maybe you could shoot it down by, like, launching boulders at it. But otherwise, this is the way you came. This is the way you're going towards this sign. Keep driving with Alyx. And we'll take a short break. The next game today is Danganronpa. Tone Whiplash. See you in a few.